Yo, what up? Got a new vape. TRX 50K sour strawberry. Sour. It's called Sour Straws. Can't really see it. Sour Straws is really good. And I'm wearing a pink shirt. Look at that. I was like pink and blue. I like the color. Um, Trying to let my beard grow out a little bit. It's kind of patchy right now, but started working out again. Started doing little workouts at home. So we're trying to get back in the swing of things. I quit working out for a few months, but my diet has been okay. So I actually kept most of my strength. The last time I quit working out for that long, I atrophied really bad and I got really, really weak. But this time, I was still able to bust out like 10, 15 push ups, no problem, do my curls and everything, do my squats. Like my mobility's good. Um, that's because last time I quit working out, my diet was really bad and I was eating a lot of sugar. And but this time, even though I quit working out, I was still eating a lot of protein and not eating a lot of sugar. So I was able to maintain a lot of my strength. So it's a lot easier for me to kind of get back to working out and everything. So that's good. Um, just felt like making a video. I recently got out of this really weird situation. I don't know. I was talking to this girl, and we talked for like a couple months and everything was good, and then I was just blocked one day. Don't know what happened. Um, yeah, like everything was good. We hung out. We had dinner. Like we hung out a lot. Like she came over. She spent a lot of time with me. And then today I was just blocked. So I think I dodged a bullet ultimately. If she comes back, it's a no from me, dog. You know what I mean? If she tries to come back after that, I mean, it's just a no from me. Um, because I just don't like that. Like, why? Don't block me for no reason. Like, tell me something. Communicate. You know what I mean? Um, but I think it's for the best. I think that I dodged something. Um, I didn't. I don't think we were super compatible. You know what I mean? Like for long term. So it still kind of hurts. Obviously, my mic is so loud. It still kind of hurts, obviously, but um, I think it's for the best ultimately. Um, I stopped taking my medication. I was on 5 milligrams of Abilify, and I've been taking that for about I don't know, five, probably a little over 5 months, 5, 6 months, something like that. And things were going good, but recently it started causing hallucinations, and I was having side effects and stuff. So I got off that, and I'm starting to kind of get back to my old self, but in a good way, because the medicine was necessary, I think, for a little while to help me rest, because that's what it did. It helped me kind of like shut down and just relax, which I always struggle with like relaxing. But now that I'm off the medication, I notice my energy levels are rising, and um, yeah, I feel like I can kind of handle things fine without the medication. Coming off of it, I think I'll be all right. Especially because I was on such a low dose. I was only taking 5 milligrams once a day. So getting off of it's a lot easier than if I were taking like a bigger dose. Um, I don't know, man. Things are complicated. Not in my life, but just in the world, right? How things work is complicated because I need to move out of this apartment within the next, like 4 to 5 months. I want to move out of this apartment and I need to get a job. I got to save up money. I got to do this. But the process for getting into a new apartment can be really lengthy, and I don't have a work history. I haven't worked for the last couple of years, so getting into like a regular apartment's probably going to be tough. Realistically, I look at like lower income housing is ideally where I would transition to, because this is mental health housing specifically. Um, so I'd like to transition to just like lower income apartments, which is I used to live in a lower income apartment, and then I transitioned to here because this is more permanent. I could stay here for like 3 to 5 years is what they kind of give people to stay here. Whereas the other place I was staying, it was like they kind of want you out of there within a year. They don't really want you staying there too long. It's meant to be like a transitionary housing. Um, so, but I don't know. The process for things, it's just like if you jot it down on paper, it doesn't necessarily seem that complicated, I guess. But going through the actual process of like trying to transition from one housing to another while also trying to get a job and like save up money, it can just kind of take time. And you know I don't know. I'm I don't feel as overwhelmed as I used to, but it's still a little overwhelming, like trying to just be an adult. You know what I mean? Like trying to just get myself on my feet, and the world feels heavy again. The medication kind of took away that weight. Um, the medication kind of made me a little bit zombified. I'm not gonna lie. The medication kind of took away the weight of everything, and I didn't really, I didn't feel so crushed by the world. But now it's like reality starting to set back in, and things are starting to feel heavy again. But I'm dealing with it a lot better. Uh, but I just wish everything didn't revolve around money so much, and it was easier to get housing. And I mean, I'm sure I'll find something. You know what I mean? But it's just and not working for the last couple of years can be tricky to get back in the workforce, especially when you're almost like I'm 28 and I haven't worked since I was 26. That last 2 years has really flown by, and it's like that can make it hard to find a job. If you're not consistently working, if there's a big gap in your work history, it can make it hard to get a job. But not impossible, obviously not impossible. um and thinking about my relationship with God, and where I want to go with that, and what do I believe in. um there's so many theories, man. There's so many theories on like what God is and the purpose of life and this, and it's like I really feel like it's all just one big game. Like I really feel like everything's just a game, man. It's an experience, it's a game. But you can lose, and you can lose hard, and there's consequences, and it's a game, but it's not all fun, right? It's a game, but it's not always fun. um it's not always laughs. There's really serious shit that happens in this game, right? People lose their life in this game. People's lives are ruined in this game, right? So it's not a game for the faint of heart. It's a very hardcore. You're playing on hardcore mode, you're playing on survivor mode, but it's still kind of just an experience. You know what I mean? Which is just, I don't know how to take that yet. Like I don't know how to process that yet. Um, I I've spent most of my life not really having a foundation, and not really having a plan, and not really having support. And now I'm trying to build all of that for myself at 28, because I didn't have that as a child. I didn't have that as a teenager. I didn't have that in my early 20s. I didn't have stability. I didn't have emotional support. I didn't have anything I needed, man. I've really been set up for failure. Um, I really have been. I really have been set up for failure. Everyone in my family kind of just let me down. No one really nurtured me. No one really helped me with anything. And as a man, uh, you kind of got to just figure that shit out on your own, and it's fucking tough, man. I don't feel like a man. I look like a man. I sound like a man. I'm fucking 28. I got a beard. Like physically, I am a man. Age wise, I am a man, but mentally, I still don't feel as capable as I would like to be. You know, I can deal with a lot and I can get by on the bare minimum, right? I can do a lot with the bare minimum. I can be very content with the bare minimum. But, you know, having the bare minimum your whole life becomes exhausting, and you know, and you kind of get to a point where you want more, right? Not in a greedy way, but just you want more for yourself. You want better for yourself. And that's where I'm at right now, is trying to figure out, like, what does that look like? What is that better version of my life? What is the more that I'm seeking? Is it more spirituality? Is it more community? Is it more responsibility? Is it more freedom? You know, what is freedom? What is, you know, because freedom is responsibility. True freedom is responsibility. The more freedom you have over your life, the more responsibility you have over your life, right? That's why a lot of people, we stick to our 9 to 5 jobs and we never want to be the boss of anything, right? Because when you become the boss and you move up the ladder, there's more freedoms and there's more money, but there's also more responsibility and there's bigger risk and there's bigger consequences, right? When you're just kind of a peon at the bottom just getting by, you can make more mistakes, right? You might get a scolding or whatever, but you can make a lot of mistakes when you're at the bottom and you're just kind of like a cog in the wheel. But once you start moving up and you actually become a decision maker, your ass is on the line, you know, and like one mistake might get you fired, or one mistake might completely change your career path or ruin someone else's life, right? Like the higher up you go, the more impactful your mistakes and decisions are. And so a lot of people don't want to deal with that. And, you know, I think I can deal with that kind of pressure fairly well. You know, I've had a few management positions over the course of my life. A lot of people have considered me a leader. I think I do make a good leader. I think I'm very patient with people. I think that's a big part of being a good leader, is being patient with people. Um, Knowing how to speak. I think I speak fairly well. It's not always perfect. Sometimes I rant and I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I think for the most part I'm fairly articulate. I think I can get my point across, you know, decently. Um, but it's just, I don't know, you know, and then another thing that's always on my mind is love. What is love? Is love even real? You know, human love is very conditional. Is it, do I want human connection or do I just want pets? Right? Because pets give you unconditional love, right? Your pet, your cat, your dog, pets really do love you like unconditionally, right? They don't care if you're ugly, they don't care if you're fat, they don't care if you're lazy, they don't even care if you feed them all the time, right? As long as you aren't abusing them. But even then, there's a lot of animals who have been abused and they still love their owners. And that's wild, right? Like, there's a lot of animals that do get abused and are mistreated and they still love their owners. Not saying you should abuse your pet, obviously. Please don't do that. But, you know, um, and I don't know, you know, it's like, do I even want to deal with humans anymore, or do I just want a dog or a cat? You know, it's like, what kind of love am I looking for? And, you know, having another human would be nice, but everything feels so shallow. And I'm not saying that on the other person's part. I'm saying that in regards to myself as well. Like, I find women physically attractive. And if I don't find a woman physically attractive, it's hard for me to want a relationship with her. And I don't like that. You know, I wish it wasn't that way. I wish that physical attraction wasn't a factor, but it is. And that kind of makes me not want a relationship, right? Because it's like, I want a relationship that's completely based off of personality and compatibility and chemistry and all that. And I don't want physical appearance to be a factor, but it's very hard to ignore physical appearance, right? If I don't find someone physically attractive, it's hard to try to connect on all the other stuff. You know what I mean? And that's how humans are, right? If we don't find someone physically attractive, for most of us, there are a few people who really don't care about looks. But for most people, looks do play a bit of a factor, right? They're definitely there, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know what, like, life is such a weird, it's such a weird experience. It's such a weird thing, and I don't really know what I want out of it. I'm 28 and I have no fucking idea what I want out of life, man. Like, I really don't. Part of me wants to move to California and just be homeless on the beach. Like, really, really, that's something I fantasize about a lot, is just saving up enough money for a ticket and just going to Cali, man. Just going to fucking Cali and just being homeless on the beach for a while and, having a fresh start. I think about that at least once a week, so. But then the other option is stay in New York and try to build myself up from the ground up, or build myself up from where I'm at, build myself up from what I've started. Um, because everything's kind of just a process, man. But I don't know. There's a lot. It feels heavy. Things feel heavy sometimes. I think I'm doing an okay job, but taking that next step can be very overwhelming and very scary. But anyway, I think I'll wrap up the video here. Thank you for watching. Hopefully this helps somebody or inspires somebody, or you can take something from this. I hope you do. And Happy New Year. And I hope you have a good day. Adios.